am Weston. I love talking about hockey. I'm not used to that yet. And I'm here to talk about Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Tampa Bay wins 3-1 over the Montreal Canadiens. And I don't know what you do if you're Montreal at this point. So, getting right into it. Tonight, Montreal actually looked like they came to play, right? They played a fantastic first 55 minutes, realistically. Up until that one mistake by Edmondson. They played great, right? Early on, they're looking great. Their penalty kill was suffocating. It was a great penalty kill by them, right? They were just muscling Lightning off the puck, just shoving them, getting real physical, which is sort of how they played all playoffs. And it was working for them, right? They looked good for a very long while. And then there was a play on somewhat of a Stamkos breakaway. I think it was Cole Caulfield. I could be wrong, but I thought it was him who just barely got a stick lift on Steven Stamkos, then definitely saved a goal. He had Carey Price dead to rights. And, they played good, right? The thing that I talked about the most was the fact that their defense was horrid in Game 1. And tonight, they played really solid defensively, again, except for one bad thing by Edmondson. But again, they were doing good, right? First period, they did really well. They dominated shots. I think it was 13-6 shot-wise after the first period. And I'm like, wow, Montreal, they're serious, right? They're here to play. They're here to win. They looked really good. First period, it was 13-6 in favor of Montreal. And they played really well, right? They had a couple of penalties to kill off. I believe it was... they had to kill off a pair of penalties. And they did really well. They had a great penalty kill. A second period, right? Second period's going. 13:20 left in the second period. The Lightning have it in the zone for a little bit of time. Puck gets over to Anthony Cirelli. He takes a shot basically from the point, and I don't know. I thought it might have deflected off of someone. I don't think it deflected off of any Canadiens. And it's a goal for Anthony Cirelli. He scores to make it 1-0. And again, this wasn't necessarily a bad goal. It was in front of a lot of traffic, so I don't necessarily put it on Price being, it wasn't anyone's fault necessarily. Or let me rephrase this. It wasn't Carey Price's fault, right? And they made it 1-0. Now, a little bit later on, Svechnikov absolutely just crushes Arturi Lehkonen, and Montreal will get a power play out of it. And on said power play, Montreal wins the face-off. Nick Suzuki gets a pass. I thought he was trying to pass it to Corey Perry, who was right in front of the net, and it does not actually end up touching Corey Perry. It goes, I think, off of Ryan McDonough, former Rangers captain, and just past Andrei Vasilevsky, who I'm going to talk about a bit more later on. But it's 1-1, and that's really where it stops being fun for Montreal, because with .03 seconds left in the period, right, no time left, Gaudreau and Coleman rush in on a 2-on-1, again with no time left, and Gaudreau with an absolutely perfect pass over to Coleman right in the 5-hole, and he just barely beats Price in the 5-hole, because Price was just barely, his pad was just barely off the ice to allow it to go through, and also with time, because, a half a second later, and it's no goal. And with quite literally basically no time left in the second period, Montreal would make it a 2-1 game. And again, the Canadiens were playing fantastic through the first two periods. They played a pretty good third period as well. There was... with I think 3.5 minutes left, down by 1, right? Still very much in the realm of possibility that you can come back and win the game. If you're Montreal, this little thing happens where Edmondson takes the puck into the trapezoid, right, and goes behind the net, and it's I'm gonna bank it off the bank, off the boards, and I'm gonna bank it to my teammate. That is a neat idea, he thought to himself. And Palat said, hey, I'm not your teammate, but thanks for the puck. Yoink! And 3-1. And again, this was not Carey Price's fault. He's going to get charged with 3 goals tonight. This one should not count as a goal against Carey Price. How is he supposed to know that his teammate is for some reason banking a pass behind his back without looking and just kind of yoinking it to the Lightning. Good Lord. That was just an incredible gaffe by Montreal to basically throw the game at that point. And, I mean, an oopsie-doopsie that big, you can't really recover from. And that was pretty much it for the game. Montreal's... They played so much better, right? Like, they played so well tonight, right? The defense looked pretty good again, except for that play. The penalty kill was suffocating. They looked like they were passing much better than they were in Game 1. They played a more physical game than Game 1, right? They looked really, really good, right? 43 shots on goal for Montreal Canadiens, opposed to just 23 for the Lightning. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. They had a better penalty, or a power play. They had a better penalty kill. They looked great. And it just wouldn't matter. You know, they even dominated giveaways. You know, like, they did everything correctly. And it didn't matter because of one 6'3" Russian named Andrei Vasilevsky. I don't know what else. That's the entire video. That could be the entire video. It's just, yeah, Andrei Vasilevsky exists and completely dominated Montreal. And given the way he is, he's probably sending them vodka and an apology letter for dominating them so thoroughly, right? And again, I don't know what you do if you're Montreal at this point, right? Because you played a great game, right? You did pretty much, again, aside from the one goal at the end of the game, you did pretty much everything right. Good penalty kill, good power play, you know, great offense, but you got goalied. That's all there is to say. You completely got goalied by Andrei Vasilevsky. 42 of 43. And this is one of those games where, like, if it's the regular season, you just kind of go, nuts, it happens, and then keep on trucking. But this isn't the regular season anymore. This is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup. You're already down 1-0 going into this game. And Andrei Vasilevsky continues to show why he's probably the best goaltender in the National Hockey League. He was spectacular tonight, and he completely crushed the Canadiens. There's no other way to put it, right? And I don't know what you do if you're Montreal. Because, like, right, looking at the peripherals, right? Looking at shots on goal, looking at giveaways, looking at power play, penalty kill, and even looking at face-off, right? Everything tells you that Montreal should win. Got goalied. I don't know. I was hoping that that Money Puck would post some stuff about the game before I made the video. They didn't, but I can only imagine what Andrei Vasilevsky's goals stopped above expected were for the game, and B, the deserved to win-o-meter. Both have got to be just insane. And I believe they also said going into Game 2, if Tampa was able to win, it now puts their chances to win the Cup at 89%, which, boy, Montreal is now very much behind the 8 ball, and granted, they came down from a pretty good series deficit against Toronto in round 1, you know, down 3-1, but the difference between Toronto and the Lightning, aside from, well, obviously, is Toronto doesn't really know how to win, right? They have not won a playoff series since 2004. I was 2 years old the last time they won a playoff series, whereas the Lightning have won a playoff series this month. And they won the whole thing last year, right? That's the difference. So I don't know where you go as Montreal. And if you're Tampa, just keep on doing what you're doing because it's working, right? Game 1, your offense dominated and Vasilevsky was pretty darn good anyway. And now in Game 2, Vasilevsky just completely smothered them. I think I am genuinely out of things to say for this game. But man, this is pretty darn rough for the Canadiens going into Game 3. Even though it will be back in Montreal. That's really all I have to say for tonight. I'll be back after Game 3 Friday night. And boy, oh boy, it could be pretty much over by Friday night at this time. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And go hockey, because that's what I'm going to be saying at the end of these.